governor in the relationship of your oath.
There you go.
That was really good. You did a good job. Oh, is it my turn? Well, every elected official takes an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States and the state of Oregon. That's my job in protecting the people. So we need governors that actually do what they say they're going to do, and that they follow the Constitution, because this means something, right? There's 18 limited powers here that the federal government is supposed to have, and there's this Bill of Rights that number 10 says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So when they try to step outside these 18 limited powers that they have, my job as governors to make sure they don't, and they don't exercise those powers on the state of Oregon, because this says that they are limited.
So how will you do that?
How will I do that? I have all 36 constitutional sheriffs visit every single federal agency in their jurisdiction and tell them they're done operating in Oregon. If they're going to they're not going to talk to an individual or a business entity in Oregon without talking to the governor's office first and proving wrongdoing. Because if they come to you, it's like OSHA. When they show up at your door or your business, you just let them in. They need a warrant, or they're not coming in, right? And they should. And number one, they're unconstitutional anyway. So we're just going to say, OSHA, you know what? You're unconstitutional. You're not operating in Oregon. IRS, you're unconstitutional. You're not operating in Oregon.
What about MSHA?
What about what?
MSHA,
What's MSHA? I don't know what that is.
Mine Safety Health.
Federal mine safety.
Is it listed as one of the 18 powers given to the? I doubt it.
I don't know.
I don't
They
think
should
so.
have
They're
power.
I
a
doubt
lot of
it.
the regulatory agencies are unconstitutional, and it's like the Department of Education. Education is a state issue. It's not a federal issue. So there's 18 limited powers. That's it. That's all they have. That's what's documented. So when they're outside of that, and this is where Trump comes in. Trump says, look, I'm going to make sure that the federal government doesn't get outside their bounds. So when we have governors that say, President Trump, this IRS right here, that's unconstitutional. You know, people will pay their taxes, but the IRS doesn't have the right to audit them because a lot of these audits are basically harassment. I filed to run for office 2 days after I filed to run for office the first time I was audited. Right? So I had to take the time, and they had no wrongdoing. They said, Bruce, your charitable giving your percentage is above what we think is reasonable. Prove it to us. Well, I had to go back, and I already proved it to them once. I sent them everything that I had. There was nothing wrong with what I'd sent them other than it was outside their boundaries. So then I had to go back and I had to make copies of all my statements, send it to them. I never heard from them again. No one should have to do that. That's harassment. That is not a constitutional. So that justifies their bureaucracy and their job, but it doesn't justify them being able to do that because what they're doing is unconstitutional. FBI is unconstitutional. There's nowhere in here where it gives the federal government the right to have a national police force, national army to protect us, right, against foreign and domestic people that want to attack us, but not a federal police force. It's unconstitutional. So what we have to do in Oregon is we have to start exerting state sovereignty, and every state has to do this. Every state has to do this. When our land wasn't transferred, the 53% of state lands in Oregon that are unconstitutionally managed by the federal government, we have to just say, you know what? It's our state land. We're going to make big things that say state on them, take 4 16-penny nails, and we're just going to nail it right over top of the thing. So you don't think I spend a lot of money, right? I'm sure there's guys that would make those for us and, you know, nail the nails in there, and we just, Deschutes, I'm so sick and tired of seeing the Deschutes National Forest at the top of Highway 20 where there is no forest there. It sticks because it burnt in 2003 and they didn't cut it down and fix it. So we're just going to go state, and then we're going to just go, hey, get your chainsaws, guys. Let's cut all this down. And just cut it all down. And if we got to put a road in clear into the wilderness area, because that's burned clear into Marion Lake, which is in the wilderness area, halfway around that lake, We put the road in, we cut all those trees down, we replant, and then we pull the road out. Leave it a wilderness just like it is, but we've got to fix it. And they haven't fixed it. And the national government isn't going to fix it, ever. They have no plans to. So, anyway.